It's going to be tipped and caught. It's caught. How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's all the way.
Totally unbelievable.
It's game day in Lincoln, America, and this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show.
Check this out.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show is powered by Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Blanker with PRG and BHHS Ambassador Real Estate, and Ritchie Brothers.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show starts now.
Well, it is not a Saturday. It is a Friday, but it is a game day. Welcome into the Ticket Tailgate pregame show brought to you by A1 Automotive. I am Jake Sorensen. We don't usually go out and about for road games, but we're here today at a wonderful event at Haymarket Park. SIP, Nebraska. It begins in about a half hour from right now. We're just getting it cleared up here, but from 4 to 10 p.m., come on by Haymarket Park. All sorts of breweries, wineries, distilleries. You can get all sorts of free drinks here if you just pay at the gate, $55. You go online to sipnebraska.com. It's $45. You can come tonight or tomorrow, or you can buy a 2-day pass. It's a wonderful place to be. This segment of the pregame show is sponsored by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers at 11th and L. Nebraska plays Rutgers in about 2.5 hours from right now in Piscataway for their first true road game of the season. They did play on the road against Northwestern in Ireland, but that was a neutral site game. But they play in Piscataway, a game that a local writer in New Jersey reviewed as a must-win game for Greg Schiano and company. I am joined now on the phone by my colleague from Early Break, Steve Sipple, on the line in Piscataway. Sip, I missed you this morning. Good to hear from you now. What's the vibe like in Piscataway?
It's pretty lively around the stadium. Actually, looks like there's sort of a mini fair here. There's like a Ferris wheel and a man on stilts, and you can win stuffed dolls. Yeah, it's lively. It's like Painted Black Friday, they're dubbing it. And there's a pretty big pep rally outside the stadium, and there's a lot of people. It definitely feels like a wonderful college football atmosphere. I would tell you that.
Is that the first time you maybe can say that about a game in Piscataway, New Jersey?
No, it's pretty good. It's better than you think, probably. I don't know what kind of reputation it has back in Lincoln, but it's good. I'm walking right next to the stadium. It's gorgeous. This is the birthplace of college football, man. I mean,
I know.
They have a good tradition, strong tradition, and it's a great pregame scene right now. I'm really impressed, actually. And I've been to places where I'm not very impressed, but this is impressive.
Well, I think people kind of thought, Rutgers is it's a place that struggled to win for many years. Greg Schiano's trying to get them back, and they had a 3-0 start, then a couple losses in a row to Iowa and Ohio State, but they still you hear about a sellout tonight in this big event. I mean, are you expected to see a packed stadium tonight, Sip?
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know hey, Jake, I don't know what kind of crowd's going to be. I'm just saying the pregame out here, part of it's the weather. It's idyllic weather. I mean, it's 78 or whatever. It's not even, people are not even wearing jackets. It's gorgeous. So some of it's that. Some of it's, it's just the Painted Black Friday they got going on. It's cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the crowd will be like. Seems pretty lively, though, right now.
Well, we were both in Dublin for the Northwestern game, and there's a lot of Nebraska fans out there. Are you sensing right now from where you've been there from yesterday to today, do you think you'll see a decent amount of Nebraska fans that make their way into the stadium tonight?
Well, there always are, Jake. It's not like it's harder to gauge because, Rutgers red. So it's sort of hard to tell. Now, a lot of these Rutgers fans I'm looking at right now are in black because of what they're doing here tonight. I can't, where we stayed in New Brunswick, where the team hotel is, which is a beautiful area to stay in, by the way, if anybody's ever coming out here. It's right by Rutgers. We're right by Rutgers University, and it's a nice little area. But I did not see a lot of Nebraska fans. I was out and about today. I was looking for a place to get a haircut. Didn't find it, but I ended up walking around a lot. And no, I did not see a lot of Nebraska fans, actually.
Well, we will see how it looks tonight. Again, Husker fans are being red. Rutgers fans are supposed to be in black for the game, so we will see just under 2.5 hours from now. Regarding the game itself, I know we talked this week on the show, and it's kind of been the emphasis is that Rutgers relies on defense. Their offense has struggled this year. They've got some quarterback issues with health going on. Let me ask you, is there any way this game is not low scoring? Do you see any way to track me, or is it bound to be a low scoring game in your opinion?
I think I do think it'll be a low scoring game. If it's not, that would concern me from Nebraska's perspective. I think it'll be harder. I don't know. I kind of worry. I guess what I'm getting at here is I worry about Samuel Brown the fifth a little bit getting loose. The Rutgers running back. Nebraska's got to avoid that. I think though, no matter what, Rutgers will run it a lot because their quarterback situation is not great. So it'll probably be a pretty fast, low-scoring game is what I'm anticipating. And I think that's what you want. Either side really is what I think that's what you want. I think Rutgers, their concern would be Nebraska hitting a bunch of big plays and rolling up 21 quick points and maybe getting a 35 or 40. Rutgers doesn't want that because I don't think they can match that. So yeah, I think both teams would prefer to stay kind of low scoring.
Yeah. So I'm curious regarding Nebraska's approach offensively. They can't have the big play. We mentioned Trey Palmer, the big play in the fourth quarter to make it a 7-point lead against Indiana. Nebraska wins by 14 in that ball game, but that was a huge play. I mean, for Nebraska tonight, is you think the game plan is to run Anthony Grant hard? Do you think they'll try to open up the passing game? Is it more of a 50-50 split? How do you see the best way Nebraska can get an offensive flow going and beat the Scarlet Knights on the road?
Jake, this strikes me as a do whatever it takes game. I'm not going to fall into that trap where I say, I think they got to come out and pound it on the ground. No, I don't know. I don't see it that way. I think that if they could get Grant going, there's obvious benefit from that. And, if they could get Gabe Irvin Jr. going, he's probably number 2 in that discussion. But, if they can get Anthony Grant going, it always makes life easier, right? But I just don't think it'll be that easy to do that. And Whipple hasn't really shown necessarily that's what he wants to do all the time. And remember against Northwestern, I thought I went on the pregame show with Jay and whoever else was on that night, and I said, I think they're going to come out and try to pound it. And what they do, Jake, you were there. They came out and just start throwing it around. I mean,
Huck and Chuck, baby.
They whipped up. Yeah, they ripped up the field throwing it. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what Whip will have in mind, but it strikes me as a do whatever it takes type of game.
Yeah, and it's Steve Sipple out in Piscataway. Again, I'm Jake Sorensen live at Haymarket Park for SIP Nebraska. This is the Ticket Tailgate pregame show, just under 2.5 hours to kick off in Piscataway, Nebraska Rutgers. Nebraska's defense had a good showing. No points allowed in the second half against Indiana in their win last Saturday. Rutgers is a team we mentioned is struggling offensively. When you get a team with quarterback problems, what can Bill Busch do to continue to give the Scarlet Knights problems for a defense that up until last week was not playing very well?
Make them one-dimensional, and I think it means really doing what you typically would want to do anyway, and that's stopping the run. I mean, get set, be ready to stop that kid. I think it's Samuel Brown the fifth. He's a good running back. They like him here. People are starting to compare him to Ray Rice.
Oh boy.
So I'd watch him, and I'd watch that part of it pretty close. They don't have a lot of firepower on offense, so I think he's good. I think Nebraska can hold them to 24 or 28. I think if they got to 28, it'd be problems. But I think if you can hold them to 21, 24, you're in business. But what I was saying to you all week, and I really believe this, is I just don't think we're going to know who's going to win this game with 3 minutes to go. I think it's going to be that sort of game. And, you know, that's not really going out on a limb, as someone just pointed out to me in the lobby of the hotel. That's the kind of way college football is now. There's a few teams that can put a big number on you, like Ohio State, but there's not much of that going on. These games are close. So, hey, got to work that. Yes, that comes down. You know, that comes down to Mickey. Mickey and that coaching staff managing the game late. That's a lot of it, and get your team in position to win the game.
Yeah,
and then closing the door with good decisions and guys making plays.
Yeah, I think about that trust factor in a coach, and early on, Mickey's second game as a head coach, it was 21-all go in the fourth quarter. They put Indiana away, shut them out 14-zip in the fourth. So there is some trust in the right positions they were being put in, and if they can do that again tonight, like you said, if it's close down to the wire, I mean, you just build more and more trust and belief in your players and what you're doing, both with offensive play calling and defensive play calls.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, you heard Mickey. I mean, Mickey's talked about it, and Scott used to talk about it too, that they're going to be in close games every week now. I mean, pretty much every week. You wonder a little bit about Ann Arbor, but I don't know, Jake. You look down the schedule and tell me what game's not going to be close. And that's that. But, Nebraska hasn't had much luck in those games. So you're right. Doing that against Indiana, the guys talked about it, the players. I mean, it was important. So, yeah, hopefully if you're a Nebraska fan, you see that carry over tonight.
Yeah, I think that, we enjoy drinking Kool-Aid because it tastes good and we want to feel good about our program. But, Nebraska beats Indiana. Do you worry about maybe overconsumption of Kool-Aid again tonight if they were to beat Rutgers and get 2 straight wins to go to 2-1 in conference play?
You wouldn't. I mean, yeah, you always worry about that a little bit. I wouldn't think so because this program has been, it's been really a difficult year. You wouldn't think the emotion or the confidence level would swing that fast. I mean, come on, it wasn't that long ago they were losing to Georgia Southern on the home field. And then Oklahoma came in and couldn't name the score. That wasn't that long ago. I know kids can have some wild swings of emotion, but come on, I wouldn't think they'd get overconfident at this point. I really don't. All this stuff is still pretty fresh, Jake. I mean, two coaches got fired. They had some very extreme circumstances on Saturday, and it didn't go their way. So, no, and I think that's where coaches come in, too. I think you got to have those sort of reminders, not necessarily that you harp on the losses or dwell on those negatives, but you can do it if you're a smart coach in a subtle manner. You can do that and keep your players from getting a big head. I can't believe these guys are getting a big head right now.
Well, the thing is, we've thought that before in Nebraska under Scott Frost. I mean, they would win a football game. You thought, hey, this is when it turns around, and they would just come out flat the next game and like lacking motivation for some reason, despite proving nothing really. So it doesn't seem like a big thing to ask for, but it has been a big thing to ask for in the past.
Yeah, so, Jake, sometimes we don't agree on everything, and this is one we don't. I don't think Nebraska had a lot of moments where they were flat. I think there's a lot of moments where they didn't play well.
Okay.
But I thought this program, one thing it's done. Now, you could say Oklahoma, it wasn't necessarily the case, but they weren't getting blown out, and they weren't laying down. They never were laying down. And I just disagree with you, Jake. I didn't always see a flat team. I saw some teams that played bad, that made some bad decisions, lost close games in ways that were sort of at times mesmerizingly stupid. but it wasn't like they were flat. When they lost to Michigan State, that game comes to mind. They were anything but flat in that game, right? I mean, they held Michigan State.
Right.
Was it 1 first down in the second half or no first
Something
down?
Like that.
1 first down. They just, the punter missed his mark by 40 yards. I mean, they last year against Ohio State, Jake, they weren't flat. That team wasn't flat. They just didn't close the deal. They weren't flat against Purdue last year. Adrian threw 4 interceptions. So no, I don't think they do that. It's interesting. It's an interesting part of the conversation. They come to play. with the exception, I think they probably came to play against Oklahoma. I think that game got away from them.
I think the point more, Sip, is I agree with you in general. It just seems after wins specifically, they came out a little flat, I thought. Now, in most games, they played well, but for some reason, after wins, it just wasn't right, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, you watch that tonight. I don't think that will be an issue tonight.
I hope not.
I think the issue will be they got to match Rutgers' physicality.
They do.
That's the issue. And particularly Donovan's boys up front. Those boys got to be ready to get smacked in the mouth and respond in kind. They can't. They're going to get smacked. They got to smack back hard. I mean, that's what this game's going to be about. Much of it's going to be about Rutgers' front seven, front four against Nebraska's offensive line. They're going to try to come to get Casey. They're going to try to go after Casey. I imagine that's what I would do. That's what I'm looking at closest.
All right, Sip, let you run. Before you go, though, remind us again your official prediction for the score tonight for the 6 p.m. kickoff in Piscataway.
My score?
Yes.
Are you looking for a score, Jake?
Yeah, I like to have a score from you, Sip, if you have a score. Yeah, I like to have a score.
I think I'm in the range that everybody else is. I like Nebraska's chances here, definitely to be in the game late. And then I'd say if Casey's still out there, I like their chances. I think that Casey can orchestrate something late, and Nebraska will win 24-21.
All right, right on the spread of 3. So, Sip, we'll let you go. Enjoy the game tonight. Safe travels back to Nebraska, and we will hopefully see you on Monday.
Thanks for having me on there, Jake, and have a good night.
You are welcome. That is Steve Sipple, my co-host on Early Break, out in Piscataway for Nebraska Rutgers. Again, just over 2 hours away from kickoff. Sip's out in Piscataway. I am here at Haymarket Park for Sip Nebraska. This begins in about 13 minutes from 4 to 10 p.m. today and 1 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. You can come on by. You can buy your tickets at sipnebraska.com. Or if you don't want to do that, you can pay at the door. Get in, get all sorts of great drinks, wine, beer, and spirits from wonderful places all across the state and region. Sip Nebraska, again, this is today from 4 to 10 and tomorrow 1 to 10. Come on by, enjoy a great time. It's actually very nice out. I know it's only 58 degrees, but it's a beautiful fall day. So come join us and enjoy a beautiful night at Haymarket Park. When we come back, Chris Raff is in the building from The Drive with Raff and AD. He will join me next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show live at Haymarket Park on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance to make your project go smooth. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online at deckcityne.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
M Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Guys, are you working from home these days and find yourself wearing the same sweatpants you've had since college? Visit M Suits Clothiers and check out our bamboo athletic wear by Task. Task Active Wear is comfortable, moisture-wicking, breathable, 4-way stretch with anti-odor. You'll want to live in it, and it's nice enough that you can wear it outside of the house too. M Suits Clothiers, located at 5525 Red Rock Lane, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Reward yourself with Kasasa Free Checking. Liberty First Credit Union invites you to open a free Kasasa checking account and earn up to 3% APY for up to $30,000. Get paid for banking. What are you waiting for? Earning a high reward rate is easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. Liberty First Credit Union offers free online banking and bill pay, free e-statements, free mobile banking, and so much more. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Back.
That's what you do, keep eating.
To the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, presented by Mullen Motors on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Girl, you feel the
We are back again for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Again, usually at the studio for road games. Not today. It's a beautiful day. So we are out at SIP, Nebraska, Haymarket Park. It starts up in about 7 minutes from right now. All sorts of vendors out here with all sorts of good beer and wine and spirits for you. Come on by. It's a great event. They're here 4 to 10 p.m. today, 1 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. Tickets available. Tickets available at sipnebraska.com, or you can purchase them at the gate. Get unlimited drinks while you're here. That's a pretty good time, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That voice you hear and that face you see on the video stream, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, is Chris Raff of The Drive with Raff and AD from 8 to 10 a.m. Raff, I tell you what, I think people were concerned that here in Lincoln it's going to be a little chilly today. It feels great. This is fall.
It's nice. It's football weather.
It is. And it
football
sounds like via SIP last segment, it's football weather in Piscataway. It's a blackout tonight in Piscataway, which again, we're both wearing black. What are we doing? Are we participating in the blackout?
Throwing the bones, baby.
But Rutgers is the one wearing the black.
Oh, they're going to be seeing black tonight once our defense gets hold of them.
I suppose so. That's the goal. I mean, I just talked with SIP. Let's keep that conversation going, though. I mean, Nebraska's defense shuts out Indiana in the previous game in a 35-21 victory. And Rutgers' offense is struggling. They've got quarterback problems. They've got injuries going on. I mean, let me ask you this. What would be a disappointment for points allowed tonight by Nebraska's defense?
If they have one more point than we do, that's a disappointment.
Okay, so anything that results in a loss.
Yeah, we're at the point in Nebraska football, we get a win no matter what. So that's
fair.
That's what we aim for tonight.
That's a good point.
If it's 36-35 and Nebraska's on top, that's all that matters right now, because the more wins we stack, the more confidence builds.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, Raph. I mean, Nebraska at this, you just can't get picky when you have haven't made a bowl game since 2016. Yep. You just got to find a way to win football games. And Nebraska did that last Saturday. Tonight, again, Rutgers, for all we think about their offense not being good, their defense is pretty good. Now, they just got blasted by Ohio State 49-10. But prior to that, they shut down Boston College with Phil Yurkovich, one of the better quarterbacks in the country. They shut down a weak Wagner team in a blowout win there. They beat Temple in a close game, and then they lost to Iowa and Ohio State. But can Nebraska, have a high-powered offense tonight against Rutgers?
I was thinking about that on the drive down here. My thought process is we're talking about how they have a pretty stout run defense. Well, the one thing that Mickey's been talking about is he wants to be the most physical team out there. He wants to be physical when they get off the bus, physical when they're in the locker room, physical when they step on the field. So this is one of those times tonight where Nebraska needs to come out with that. The running, you always hear about the running game. The best running teams that have been around throughout history, NFL, college, high school, it's an attitude. So my thought process is tonight, Nebraska offensive line is coming with the attitude that we're meaner, we're tougher, we're stronger, and make some holes. If it doesn't happen right away, keep on pounding. Eventually, something's going to open up. But you got to have an attitude. If you're going to run the ball, you got to have an attitude. So I hope tonight that if it does come out and they shut them down on a couple carries, that they don't go away from the run. I hope they stick with the run, because once we bring those safeties up, that's when you're going to have your Trey Palmers running down the field wide open. And then another guy that I was thinking about too tonight that I think is going to have a big game is going to be Travis Vokalek.
Sure. Because
I don't know if he's been, 100% the last couple of games, but we've kind of went away from the tight end a little bit. So hopefully, they see something in tapes. And to stop our run, they're going to have to bring people up too. So if they bring those linebackers up, those tight ends are going to be open. So I look forward to him having a big game and stick to the run. If we're gonna say we're physical, like we were talking about it on the drive today, the time for talk is over. Now it's about doing it. So if we're going to be physical, let's be physical. No talking about it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. You got it. If you want to be physical, I'm with you, Raph. You got to prove it. Don't just say it. Don't just talk it, but do it. Make it clear and obvious that's the case. This segment, by the way, with Raph and myself is brought to you by Mullen Motors. Upgrade your car today with a large variety of used cars to choose from at Mullen Motors, just north of 48th in Layton in Lincoln. So, Raph, one thing that I think that people were excited about last week was the fact that you saw a couple, not just one, but a couple positive things on special teams. Let's talk about, you had the block punt that was scooped up for a touchdown by Malcolm Hartzog and the block by Chris Kolarvik. Yep. You had a couple returns by Trey Palmer on punts, one for 22 yards. We have not seen that at all yet this season. Do you expect to see more returns in not just the common fair catch by Nebraska?
I do.
In the return game?
I think that physical, aggressive nature, I think it goes throughout the team. They want them to be aggressive out there. So I think that there will be returns tonight. But the one thing that Nebraska's got to be prepared for is Greg Schiano is a great special teams coach. It's followed him throughout his career. So Nebraska's got to be smart on how they handle. They got a great punter. I believe he's the all Big Ten punter. So they got to watch out for that. They also need to be aware of, I don't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to have to.
Oh boy.
Onside kick.
Yep.
They need to keep their heads down, and they need to wait until the kick goes over their head before they turn and run downfield and block on kickoff returns. So it's just all about, it goes back to fundamentals. Be very fundamentally sound. Don't get caught, something crazy. We had a blocked punt last week. We need to make sure when we do punt that that everybody is accounted for, so we don't give up anything like that, because that's the way, especially with the blackout and with they're talking to sellout. That is the one thing that puts a crowd in their corners, stuff like that plays the unexpected plays, block punts. And then we got Nebraska's nemesis, Cruikshank.
Yeah, Aaron Cruikshank's been a problem.
He's always been a nemesis for Nebraska. Well, this is the night where they need to turn the tides. And so, yeah, it's just about being aggressive, staying in your lanes. That's key. Stay in your lanes. So, yeah, I look for the special teams to play well again, be aggressive, but don't be out of control.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if it's just don't let last week be an outlier in a bad way. Let that be a norm. I always say in the show, and again, I hate giving Iowa credit, but Iowa, when their offense sucks, their defense is good, and their special teams are elite. They have a great punter. They have a good return game. They have a good kicker. They make up for the weaknesses with another phase of the game. Nebraska, too often the last couple of years, has been weak in all three phases.
Yeah, if one falls through, they all fall through.
Right.
So.
You got to have something that lifts you up when things are down. By the way, listening to the Ticket, this is a KNTK FM first, 93.7 The Ticket, and the ticketfm.com. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show live at Haymarket Park for SIP Nebraska. He's Chris Raff. I'm Jake Sorensen. A couple more minutes before we get to break here.
I believe SIP Nebraska is now officially open.
It is. You're right. Speaking of 4 o'clock.
It is 4 o'clock.
The gates are open. I see people at the line. There's a line out there.
There
actually is a line. There are people ready to get in. So if you are in the vicinity and you are looking to get some drinks before the Nebraska game, or you want to just get drinks before the game and watch it here. Look at that jumbo screen is big.
Yeah.
The Jumbotron's big, and it's going to show the game at 6 o'clock. So come on by, drink ahead. It's pregame, watch the game here. Ends at 10 o'clock. It's going to end right around the end of the game, around 10 o'clock. So it's a perfect place to come in and watch the Nebraska game against Rutgers, the rare Friday night football game.
Heck yeah.
Do you ever get used to these kind of games on a Friday? I mean, again, right now, typically old school, starting with Jay and DP on a Friday, but DP is in Piscataway. Jay, I think, will be here at some point. If he's not, then he'll call in.
He's always around somewhere. He's probably running stairs at Memorial Stadium, something like that. That guy's always trying to stay in shape.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the cool thing about tonight is this: if Nebraska takes care of business and they do win, they get to 2-1. I mean, for at least one day, you are by yourself on top of the Big Ten West.
Yep, exactly.
Until tomorrow's games of Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Northwestern, Purdue versus Maryland. Like, you're gonna be on top of the division for a day, so you can see what that feels like. See what it feels like to actually be on top and not be talking about always coming from the bottom to the top and trying to just stay alive.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great to see that.
And it feels that feeling like. We've had that feeling over the last, 2-3 years where we were losing close games. We were losing in the fourth quarter. We were dropping games, at the end of the game. Well, we can replace those feelings. We win another game this week. That's 2 in a row. Those feelings, you have those same types of feelings. So hopefully that those feelings can be replaced with wins. And I look forward tonight. I think Nebraska's going to come out, with their hair on fire, and they're going to play hard.
Yeah, we hope that's the case. Nebraska again trying to, it feels weird that they just don't get 2 straight wins very often, but they have it. When you've had a 3-9 season and you had a 5-7, it's hard to win back-to-back games. It's hard to keep your momentum and build that. And Nebraska so often has won a football game, felt good about the next one, and fallen flat in their face, and they just can't afford to do that anymore.
Exactly.
If you wanted to make this season be effective and meaningful, then they got to find a way to keep this going.
Yep. And I think that's what, Mickey's been preaching, since he took over is we've got, it's about an attitude, like physicalness. That wins football games. The most physical team usually always wins the game. So I look forward tonight. Nebraska's going to, I think they're going to come out. They're going to be physical. I think the offense sticks to its guns. We've got the bell cow running back. We got Grant back there. Give them the ball 25, 30 times if need be.
Yep.
And then that will pull. It's going to pull up their linebackers and their safeties. Once that pulls up, you got your tight ends. You got Palmer out there. Hopefully he'll be running around. He's gonna have his shots. So that's what Nebraska got to do. Just take their shots when they're given. Take them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Nebraska again. They had a 21-7 lead against Indiana. They gave up 2 touchdowns to end the first half. You kind of thought, oh, here we go again. This is the same old Nebraska. It was a disastrous third quarter. No points, but just penalties galore. He said, well, this is another game you got to survive. And they actually had a very nice fourth quarter where they won 14-0 and then pulled away and won. So can you keep that kind of mojo going and believe you can finish games and not have that crippling doubt that I think has hurt this team the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think so. And then, like you brought up penalties, I think there will be a downturn in the penalties this week. I've got to believe that there probably were some stairs run and maybe some push-ups done this week at practice, just to bring that team together. the one thing that I always look back in my times coaching, playing, it's been those they're running the stairs and the push-ups and stuff like that. That's what kind of brings a team together. Not the guy that, was offsides or the guy that held. Have the whole offensive side to them. It brings it together. We were talking about it on the drive this morning with Jay Foreman. Jay's about when all 11 guys are on the same page as you, that's when great stuff happens. So I would assume that Mickey has the defense and the offense, I would assume there's some sort of punishment for the penalties that take place in the games.
Well, we will see. Again, we are just under 2 hours away from kickoff. Nebraska, Rutgers in Piscataway. Come on down. The line is pretty long, but people are starting to get packed in here. 4 to 10 p.m. It's underway. Come on by to SIP Nebraska at Haymarket Park. A great event. All sorts of wineries, breweries, and distilleries across the state to enjoy what they have to offer. Just, again, get your tickets at sipnebraska.com, or you can just purchase them at the gate. It's a wonderful time. Today, 4 to 10. Tomorrow, 1 to 10. Come on by. Awesome time, and some of the best drinks from around the local area in the state. We will pass off the baton. I see Jake Bachhoven. I see Nathan Brennan here. I'm going to step out for a segment. Raph, you can stick around if you want to with these guys, or if you can head out too.
Yeah.
But again, this segment was brought to you by Mullen Motors. Upgrade your car today with a large variety of used cars to choose from at Mullen Motors, just north of 48th and Layton. When we come back, it's Bach and Nathan here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Bowling, check. Arcade, check. Laser tag, check. Mini golf, check. Sand volleyball, cornhole, bocce, food, drinks, check. The newly renovated Sun Valley Lanes and Games has something fun to offer for guests of all ages. Win prizes in the arcade or challenge your friends in one of the many attractions. Plan a night of fun by reserving your spot online at sunvalleylanes.com.
Sun Valley.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Reward yourself with Kasasa Free Checking. Liberty First Credit Union invites you to open a free Kasasa checking account and earn up to 3% APY for up to $30,000. Get paid for banking. What are you waiting for? Earning a high reward rate is easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. Liberty First Credit Union offers free online banking and bill pay, free e-statements, free mobile banking, and so much more. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction. quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and Brent Excavating.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
M Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Did you know M Suits Clothiers has one of the largest selections of fashion-forward yet sophisticated menswear? Suits, jeans, dress pants, long-sleeve shirts, short-sleeve shirts, and bamboo athletic wear. They are clean and simple styling with options to be worn for work or for play. Visit their store to find your perfect fit. M Suits Clothiers, located at 5525 Red Rock Lane, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. And tell your friends about them. Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina is the talk of the Haymarket, and for good reason. Grab a breakfast taco on a game day morning or stop by for lunch or dinner for their huge variety of street taco options. They have everything from carne asada or chorizo tacos to shrimp or fish tacos, buffalo chicken, and more. Plus, they have more than 140 different tequilas and tons of other beer or mixed drink options. There's truly something for everyone. Make plans to stop by for any meal of the day at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Back. Oh, 3, 1, 2, 3. To the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, brought to you by Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are under 2 hours away from kickoff. Nebraska and Rutgers. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, and I am Jake Bakoven alongside Nathan Brennan. We'll get you ready for our segment here as we talk some Nebraska Rutgers. We're live from SIP, Nebraska, out at Haymarket Park. You can come on and do that as well. Great deal here. It's the 9th annual SIP, Nebraska, so we're going to check some things out. Got to get our wristbands going. Then maybe have a drink or two as we get prepared for the game. Hey, that's never too bad to pregame and party. By the way, if you need to do that as well, if you need to go and pick something up, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits would be an excellent choice. Worldwide selection, local expertise, more than 3,000 wines, 2,000 spirits, and 1,500 beers and seltzers. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits next to Hy-Vee on North 27th Street. Now, Nate, if I think back to my non-season, preseason mode where we were doing radio for quite some time.
Yes, we were.
You were a little bit worried about this game being kind of it's a little bit off balance. It's not on a Saturday. It's a short week and all that stuff. Rutgers is pretty excited about it. Do you still hold that same fear or indifference? Are you a little bit indifferent now that we're here?
Well, the funny part is I obviously didn't see the season starting out this way, but now I'm just kind of on edge and don't know what to expect just about every game. I don't think it really has to do with Rutgers or anyone else that's left on the schedule, but I think watching Rutgers play and how they started this season makes me a little bit more excited. And if you guys are on the video stream, you can see I'm wearing my Virginia Tech hoodie, which it all comes full circle, right? Because I probably didn't plan that too well. Probably should be wearing some type of Nebraska, but it comes full circle because you remember week 1, Rutgers would play Boston College and they would barely get away with a win by 1 point. Virginia Tech would go on to smoke Boston College. Virginia Tech's not a good football team. Boston College is not a good football team. So Rutgers, add it together, and then you can kind of decide amongst yourselves. But I think the matchup alone, Strick was kind of comparing it to Indiana, and I think in a sense that's a good comparison because offensively, nothing really excites you that much. Like they're going to hold you. I think the defense is going to play well. We've been talking about that all week, but when I look at Rutgers and I look at the state of the black shirts, like obviously coming off an emotional win, and before that they looked not great to say the least. And it's just one of those games that you build confidence. And I think you're set up for a prime matchup against Rutgers that, despite what has happened so far this season, this is the matchup that you want. And we talked about it so much during the offseason, Bach, that you look at this 4-game stretch when you starting last week with Indiana, then you go Rutgers, Purdue, Illinois. You got to take advantage. And I know Nebraska sits it tied for first in the Big Ten West, and they're in a prime opportunity because that hasn't changed from the offseason. This is still a 4-game stretch that very winnable games that you can build confidence, and you can be in that driver's seat in the Big Ten West.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, Nebraska would be if they're 2-1 in the West tonight. If they win tonight, you wait for tomorrow's games, but at least for a day, Nebraska's on top of the Big Ten West.
Take it.
And who would have thought that with that opening loss to Northwestern? But I'll tell you this, and I don't know, the rest of the season will play out. We'll still talk about the race if Nebraska drops one. You're not going to win this division if you lose to Northwestern and Rutgers.
Right.
You got to kind of make up for that Northwestern loss somewhere. And with the way the Big Ten West is looking, it's hard to decide where that would be. I mean, would beating Illinois make up for the Northwestern loss at this point? Because now Illinois looks like one of the better teams in the Big Ten West. Wisconsin, Iowa, that back end stretch doesn't look as difficult as it once did for Nebraska either. So it's going to be fascinating to kind of see what Nebraska is week to week. But one thing that Scott Frost really struggled with at Nebraska, as we know, never won 3 games in a row. This will just be 2 for Nebraska, but building off that momentum. The black shirt defense has that there. If they play like they did last week, I have no worries about Rutgers really even scoring 2 touchdowns. They struggle doing that alone themselves. It's just, is it going to be there? Can you trust that? Because this black shirt defense, yes, it's new under the direction with a new defensive coordinator kind of leading the way. Obviously, new head coach from a couple weeks ago as well. But this is still a defense that made Kyle Van Treese look pretty darn good, that made Ryan Helinski look pretty good.
Heisman.
So while we talk about Rutgers' offensive struggles, if you look at Nebraska's defensive totals in total, not just last week, you'll say, hey, for any struggling offense, this is the group to go up against. But we're going to see if that's the case. Can they get it going? And, I wonder, because I've had questions like, is Bill Busch a legitimate defensive coordinator option moving on after the season? And it's kind of the same way that it is with Mickey Joseph. If Mickey Joseph and Bill Busch win together and move forward and this defense improves week in and week out, you bet he is. Why wouldn't he be? Because you've seen a better defensive performance here than you have in several years before that.
And I think the biggest thing, too, is you mentioned Mickey Joseph and Bill Busch. Obviously, they've coached before in the past, and then they're kind of reunited in very different roles now. Head coach and defensive coordinator. I'll even throw Mark Whipple into that category, too, because you look at what this offense has done throughout the season. I think a lot of people kind of overlook Nebraska because there are a lot of times that you have inopportune turnovers, and then on top of that, you're not winning football games. But if you look outside of the game against Oklahoma, which is unfortunately looking worse and worse each week, as Oklahoma now, which is crazy to say. I'll just put this little snippet in there. They're underdogs by 9 points against Texas. If they lose, they're sitting at 3-3. If Nebraska wins, they're sitting at 3-3. So that means that Oklahoma, that was 6th in the country, that blew out Nebraska in Memorial Stadium, could be sitting with the same record. College football is awesome.
Oh, it's wild.
But that's beside the point, is that when you look at Mark Whipple in the direction that he's had this offense, and you add in these transfers, and you have people like Trey Palmer as advertised that we talked about in the offseason. You had Casey Thompson, who has struggled at times, but for the most part, as advertised. Mark Whipple has brought it all together. Like, Nebraska's offense has looked great. You can look at games against Georgia Southern. You can even look against Northwestern that obviously didn't work out in the fourth quarter. But this offense is a well-oiled machine. Like, I have no issues with the offense. So I think the coaching staff as it's currently assembled, obviously time will tell. You get into a Big Ten schedule. You play teams like Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, even after having it down. You're like, these are tough teams to play against and score on. And Rutgers is the first team to do that. So I think this is really telling, not only from the defensive side of the ball, Mickey Joseph, but you can also throw Mark Whipple into that too, in that it's a revamped Nebraska team. Like, despite everything that's happened, it's just so crazy. And I keep mentioning it over and over again, that Nebraska has a 1 next to their name. literally they are tied for first in the Big Ten West. Like the opportunity is there, and it's an incredible time to be a Nebraska fan because hope, I always tell you, Bach, is a hell of a drug, and there's a lot of hope right now.
Well, and if this could even go back to last year, and quite frankly, the Frost regime in general, even as opposed to the Riley regime, like the Riley regime had a much better record and not that much better, much more fun, but that's kind of the point is, as stay interesting. If you're not winning, at least be interesting. And Nebraska certainly has pretty of interesting going on. Hopefully, you can add winning on that because this is a game that years ago, obviously, in like I don't know, go back to Bo Pelini or whatever. In that time period, this game would be an expected win. Any struggle against Rutgers would kind of be seen as a bit of a downfall, and we'd kind of complain about it. But ultimately, just kind of move on and say that's a game you're supposed to win, and then we'll focus on the 3 big games you have that year. Obviously, where Nebraska's at now, it is more interesting, I suppose, because week to week it's like they better win this one, or they're in trouble for whatever. We're always moving the goalposts.
Right.
Before the coaching staff said it this week, there were a few eyes on the Big Ten West. We were kind of thinking maybe they can stretch into a bowl game, and then Mark Whipple saying, "No, we're going for the West," and we all just go, "All right, well, I guess they're shooting for the West. We can do it too."
Yeah, and it's just so. And it's just one of those things we talked about last week, and I don't know if you guys said the same thing. I saw Indiana as a must-win, and unfortunately, the position that Nebraska's in the current state of the program and the fragility of it all and everything, Rutgers is probably a must-win too. Like if you are serious about winning the Big Ten West, if you are putting action into what you're saying and your words have meaning, like. You're right, Bach. Northwestern and Rutgers, like, if you want to win the Big Ten West, you got to win those football games. You already dropped one against Northwestern, and it's not going to get any easier as the schedule progresses. Illinois looks like a pretty good team. Wisconsin, I don't know what's going on there, but it's still Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like it's still Wisconsin. Iowa's offense is one of the worst in the Power 5 outside of maybe Virginia Tech, but they're absolutely terrible. And it's like these games against Rutgers, because those games are toss-up games. Like you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to get. Win the games against Rutgers, move forward, and then we're in a position like, okay, maybe we're actually competing for a Big Ten West title.
One, it's weird because you want to say, no disrespect to Rutgers. And Nebraska by no means can roll their helmet out on the field and beat just about anybody, including Rutgers at this point in time. But it is kind of that must-win feel as far as kind of the Mickey Joseph momentum moving forward, and really for Nebraska to remain competitive in the division. And it's one of those things. Again, I don't know what to say. No disrespect to Rutgers, but it is kind of one of those. They are who we thought they were. They've had a struggle since joining the Big Ten. This is difficult to get things going, and you've heard the stat probably all week. They haven't won a Big Ten home game since 2018, 2017, whatever it was, 2017, I think.
Insanity.
And so, but they got momentum rolling. They, at least as far as getting the fan base involved, they got a sellout. They got the blackout tonight. But it is just one of those things. And again, Nebraska can't do this as a program, but I'm kind of thinking it, like you said, I just feel like it's the final game on the schedule where it's almost inexcusable from a competitive point to lose. Now, obviously, the obstacle in as altogether for Mickey Joseph in this group to just kind of put it all together mid-season, that's a big obstacle to begin with. So I'm not saying I would put it all on the coaching staff anymore at this point. It's just if they want to be competitors, you got to win this game. And I'll be quite honest, I don't think there are really many games left on the schedule like this. I think Indiana and Rutgers were those ones. Agree. Any other loss that you have from here on out, as long as there aren't blowouts, you can say, all right, you can kind of see where that happened, regroup and focus on next week. This one's kind of like, we kind of take a lot of wind out of our sails.
And I don't want to bring up the Mickey Joseph getting the job, not getting the job, because I think there's still so much season left to be played and so much that can still happen to affect that. But I'm just talking like pure Kool-Aid, drinking the Kool-Aid. If you win tonight, like I think there's like legitimate reason, because everyone said after the Indiana game, okay, tone it down. It's just one game. Listen, I don't care who you're playing. If you're beating a Big Ten West opponent, just a Big Ten opponent, that is a legitimate win. Like, okay, North Dakota, sure, fine. Like, say what you will. Indiana's a Power 5 football program. Indiana's a Big Ten program. Indiana, 2 years ago, went to the before that Big Ten issues happened in Ohio State ended up getting in. Indiana should have gone to the Big Ten title game. Like, I just don't understand it. And the thing is, too, like, Nebraska as a program is not in a position to say, oh, it's just Indiana.
Right.
So it's like, okay, but when you win a game against Rutgers, back-to-back Big Ten games, which I believe the text lines helped us out and said that hasn't happened since 2018.
Yeah.
Like, let's not do this, oh, it's just Rutgers, it's just Indiana. Are you beating those teams in years past? Like that's the answer that you have to that you have to answer. Like that's the question that you need to answer, is that despite it just being Indiana Rutgers, that's 2 straight Big Ten wins. You're in the driver's seat in the Big Ten West. There's reason to drink the Kool-Aid. There's reason to be confident. I reiterate that so much because despite it just being Rutgers, let me keep saying this, it's a Big Ten win. And if you're Nebraska, take it. Just take it.
Oh, absolutely. And then just momentum. Just thinking of any sort of excitement for Lincoln. It's been 5 years since we've been to a bowl game here in Lincoln, and it just feels like anytime it doesn't take much. I mean, I feel like that 8-game season, the DP was saying this often last year, they win 7 or 8, we're throwing confetti from the ceilings, we're all partying.
Absolutely.
And we would, and we still will.
Do the same thing.
But it's just how starved this community is just to get any sort of momentum to be able. I mean, I always go back to the message board days when I was a kid, typing out legitimate arguments about why Nebraska was the best program ever. Now, if I argue on the internet, it's just like, we used to be this, we don't quite measure up here anymore, and then there's the, and so, man, would it be fun to go back to those times, and yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but you got to start somewhere. I heard you say this earlier. You got to start somewhere. You got to start getting some wins, back-to-back wins. I don't care if it's against the bottom of the Big Ten. That's you. That's where you've been. And you've been to the bottom of the Big
somewhere.
Ten. Yeah.
Start somewhere.
We are live out here. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. We're live at SIP, Nebraska from Haymarket Park. Come on down. Get your little pregame on. I think they're going to have the game on the big screen as well. So that's a lot of fun. You can come out here and watch the whole game or just pregame. It's up to you. Again, if you also need some supplies for pregame, if you're not coming down, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, a great choice there. Worldwide selection, local expertise, more than 3,000 wines, 2,000 spirits, and 1,500 beers and seltzers. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits next to Hy-Vee on North 27th Street. All right, we'll take a quick break out here. I'll be quite honest with you. We've got some personalities out here. I think they're already going out and getting some drinks or something, but we'll have a few more. Yeah, we're gonna switch. We're gonna switch positions. We're gonna have a few new ticket personalities come out here. That'll be coming up next year from the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show live from SIP, Nebraska at Haymarket Park. We'll be right back.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bakoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brent Excavate.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina is the talk of the Haymarket, and for good reason. Grab a breakfast taco on a game day morning or stop by for lunch or dinner for their huge variety of street taco options. They have everything from carne asada or chorizo tacos to shrimp or fish tacos, buffalo chicken, and more. Plus, they have more than 140 different tequilas and tons of other beer or mixed drink options. There's truly something for everyone. Make plans to stop by for any meal of the day at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Hey, who caught that ball? That field goal was good, right? Is the scoreboard fuzzy to anyone else?
Dude, you have got to get your eyes checked, man.
If you're noticing that the game is getting a little tougher to follow, it might be time for a checkup at Premier Vision. They have state-of-the-art equipment, a variety of frames, and great lens options. Visit Premier Vision today, just south of Van Dorn at 84th and Firethorn.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
M Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Everyone should own a suit, at least one. M Suits has the largest selection of suits, sports coats, pants, and dress shoes. Plus, their in-house tailoring will have your suit ready when you need it. For the next business trip or a new job interview, M Suits will have you looking and feeling your best in a new suit. So if you don't own a well-fitting suit, go see them at M Suits Clothiers, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Bowling, check. Arcade, check. Laser tag, check. Mini golf, check. Sand volleyball, cornhole, bocce, food, drinks, check, 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 check. The newly renovated Sun Valley Lanes and Games has something fun to offer for guests of all ages.
Win prizes in the arcade or challenge your friends in one of the many attractions.
Plan a night of fun by reserving your spot online at sunvalleylanes.com.
Sun Valley.
Back
Yeah, all you gotta do is win. Win and win.
to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, presented by Bauer Underground on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are live here at Haymarket Park, SIP, Nebraska. Thanks to them for having us out. It's been a great afternoon so far right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, getting you ready for Nebraska and Rutgers here. I'm Nick Sainert, joined by Enrique Alvarez. Clary Rico, what's up, man? How's it going?
Not much, man. Just chilling here at SIP, Nebraska. A beautiful day out right now. We're enjoying some wine, some snacks, some food. The fantastic environment around Haymarket Park right now. And if you guys get down here, you can buy tickets at SIP Nebraska, www.sipnebraska.com. Go to facebook.com/SIP Nebraska or call 402-882-2448 to get yourself some tickets. $45 for a pass to get in here and drink all this delicious wine and some beer that they've got going on around here. It's a fantastic. Or if you want to, you can buy it at the gate. It's going on today. They'll be here from 4 to 10. We will be here until 6, but they will have the game on the big screen.
Come on down to Haymarket Park, watch the game.
They'll also be here tomorrow from 1 to 10. And again, it's fantastic out here right now. There's a slight breeze. The sun is out. It's amazing.
We've already found a couple of our favorite wines that we've tasted.
I
Rico,
may
before.
have found a wine that I'm going to buy and take back to the wife.
I might have to do the same thing, not to wife necessarily, but just to take back this segment on the A1. Yeah, exactly. On this segment is sponsored by Bauer Underground. Bauer Underground is looking for great candidates like you. Work with a talented and dedicated team that supports local contractors and utility companies across all of Nebraska. Apply today at BauerUnderground.com. Once again, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Nick Sainer, Enrique Alvarez Clary hanging out with you guys. All right, Rico, we have a couple minutes here to kind of dive deep. We did so earlier today on the show as well, but let's get right back into it. So we saw this thing just a couple moments ago on Twitter.
Yep,
from Robin Washit.
And some video from Steve Marek and Amy Just. Tommy Hill, the corner transfer from Arizona State, warming up at Rutgers. And you might be wondering, why are we mentioning Tommy Hill warming up? Well, he's not warming up with the defensive backs. He's warming up with the receivers.
Yeah, Tommy Hill getting some work at wide receiver. Now, I want to pump the brakes a little bit on saying that we'll see Tommy Hill playing wide receiver today against the Scarlet Knights. But we know Mickey Joseph does everything with a purpose, right? And for a specific reason. So here we are, we are an hour and 25 minutes away from kickoff between Nebraska and Rutgers on Fox Sports 1, and Tommy Hill is warming up with the receivers. And it's hard for me to sit here and say there's not a specific reason why. We saw over the last couple weeks, or I guess even just the last week with the bye week happening a couple weeks ago, that Malcolm Hartzog has really burst onto the scene and at that defensive back room. He's been listed as the co-starter at cornerback next to Tommy Hill for the last 2 weeks now. And he made a stand. He sent a message in last week's win against Indiana, and nothing should change for Malcolm Hartzog because he is, like I said, the number one starter on the depth chart. But now here is Tommy Hill, the Arizona State transfer, and the guy that's kind of been obviously the starter at that cornerback spot opposite Quentin Newsome all season long. He's warming up with the wide receivers today. So do I have, faith in Mickey Joseph? Absolutely. Is it shocking? 100%.
He was a guy that they raved about his athleticism. They did nothing but talk about his athleticism all summer, all spring, just going out about how fantastic he was, how physical he was, and how he was getting after people, getting after things, just, after transferring from Arizona State to Nebraska. And it is surprising, but it's not something that is, otherworldly surprising. Like, obviously it's going to take you by surprise and you're going to, kind of sit there scratching your head. But at the same time, you got to think they're trying to get their athletes on the field. And if it's somebody that's that athletic, if you can find any way to get him on the field, and if he is, that athletic, you get him with the ball in his hands and you see what he can do. That's it. I believe he's been, catching punts and catching kickoffs, not in games, but he's been doing it in practice. I think he might have been on the list as kick returner, punt returner. So a guy like that with the ball in his hands, you never know what could happen. So the ability and the depth that they have at corner and the fact that they can put a true freshman starting at corner kind of helps you to get somebody like a Tommy Hill on the field on the other side of the ball.
I would add also, think about one of the biggest criticisms that we had with the previous guys in charge. It was you never figured out truly why some of the special athletes weren't on the field. Xavier Betts is the number one guy that comes to mind, is as a player that time and time again we always heard how much of an athlete and how great of an athlete he was,
how electric he was,
and every single time the small sample sizes that we saw in the game, whether it was on a jet sweep, whether it was on a pass play, he proved that to be true.
You get the ball in his hands, then there's something special going to happen.
He's one of those guys that you just get the ball into his hands and allow him to go to work, right? And not saying to the level of a Tyreek Hill, but like a Tyreek Hill, where you can throw a 5-yard pass route or a 5-yard completion to him and let him do the rest of the work. And that provides a spark for your offense. And we heard that Tommy Hill is that type of guy. And now here we are with Mickey Joseph in his, I believe, this is going to be his 4th week of being an interim head coach after Scott Frost got fired on September 11th, that maybe that's coming to fruition. We've heard time and time again that they want to get athletes on the field, and whether it's moving Tommy Hill from defensive back to wide receiver or somebody else to a different position holistically, if it helps out Nebraska and gets wins on Saturdays or Friday nights in this case, then no Husker fan is going to complain.
Now, there is a chance that this means absolutely nothing, and he's just, getting extra warm-ups in. But as you said earlier, I don't think Mickey Joseph does things, and so far he's shown us he doesn't do things or allow things to happen without there being a purpose to it. So it's going to be really interesting. But you also have to think about it this way: there's wide receivers on there that we, have been very quiet that you haven't seen in a while. I mean, Alante Brown from time to time, he's listed as a starter. I don't know if he has. I don't know if he has more than 5 catches in a game, more than 4 catches in a game. So to throw somebody from defensive back to receiver when you have other receivers who have been doing it longer than he has, and just kind of cut them out of it. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but to have somebody move over from defense to offense and kind of remove the other offensive players that have been there seems kind of strange. So again, it could be a big nothing burger, but it's something to keep your eye on.
And let's just go ahead and lean with it being nothing, because I have a feeling that that's what it is. He could have been just goofing around. He could have been working on his ball skills. As a defensive back, he could have been working on his ball skills. Just somebody was throwing him passes, and that's totally fine. But think about let's step away from that conversation specifically with Tommy Hill moving to wide receiver, because I don't believe it's actually happening, or if it is, we won't see it tonight necessarily. But think about that conversation we were just having. Nebraska fans, ourselves included in this, Rico, have enough confidence in Mickey Joseph and the direction that this thing could go under his leadership to say, we're all good with him moving a defensive back to wide receiver in a blink of an eye, although we had not heard nothing about it in previous days.
Not a piece.
And think about that. And we get this off the text line. This, I believe, Lemon said this. Who raves about him, though, Frost and Shenander or Mickey? And that just goes to show that there are two completely different perceptions of the coaches, whether it's Frost and Shenander or whether it's Mickey Joseph, Bill Bush, and Mark. I think Mark Whipple can be included in that as well after the things we've heard from the offensive coordinator this week. So I think that shows just from a bigger picture, whether it's Tommy Hill or whether it's somebody completely different, right? Because we don't necessarily think Tommy Hill is going to be lined up at wideout today. But think about that conversation we were just having. In a matter of 3.5 short weeks, an interim head coach is able to gain the full trust of the Husker fan base, which is fragile. Like, the Husker fan base has been tested, and I applaud them time and time again for continuing to show up. But, I mean, that conversation is just fascinating to think about, how we're sitting here at SIP Nebraska at Haymarket Park thinking to ourselves, if Tommy Hill plays wide receiver, it is what it is.
Tommy Hill lining up on offense, yeah, sure.
How did we start out this conversation? I said something along the lines of Mickey Joseph, and you just said it. Mickey Joseph always does something because of with a purpose.
Everything he's done has come to fruition.
Yeah, and it works out. Or although it might not work out, but he follows through with it. He's just a stand-up guy. So
also,
that's another that Nebraska can respect.
Another name to look out for. Well, maybe not look out for, but another name that is along for the trip. True freshman or redshirt freshman, I don't remember. Janarian Bonner, the big-bodied wide receiver, 6'3", I believe somewhere over 220. Somewhere in that range, made the travel roster. Traveled with them, hasn't shown up in a game just yet this season. But look, if you're traveling on the road, you're not going to be sitting there in your jersey and your pants with no pads on. So maybe we see him, maybe we don't. I mean, he's on the travel roster. He's going to be with the team on the sideline.
And you'll remember Janarian Bonner is a guy that was looked to be a Georgia Tech lock.
Yep.
He was all planning to go to Georgia Tech and play wide receiver. And if you haven't been paying attention to college football at all, they don't run the triple option anymore. So he was a guy that an ACC program truly wanted, and Mickey Joseph handpicked and kind of stole him away from Georgia Tech at the last moment, Janarian Bonner. So, I mean, when we go down the list of wide receivers, Rico, that haven't really panned out, unfortunately, or we haven't seen come to fruition quite yet, you mentioned Alante Brown. Omar Manning's a guy there as well. That just, there's obviously speculation, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We haven't seen him on the field, and you can just go down the list. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda was a guy who had a big game against Northwestern. Now, a big game, I suppose, could be relative, because if you take away if you take away that big catch that bounced off the guy's head or whatever happened on that reception. I mean, he doesn't have nearly as.
That happens. His yards. I mean, that happens with everybody. If you take away the big play, they don't have any yards. So I mean, it's just a thing that happened. He's a good receiver. I mean, we haven't really noticed him in any of the other games. He was injured. He was on the sideline in street clothes for the last game, so that's the reason he didn't have any catches in the last game. But hopefully, he's healthy enough to make an impact, because he's a guy. He's another one of those guys. You get him in space, you get him the ball, and anything can happen. Also, some more breaking news. I'm just scrolling through Twitter right now. Some more breaking news from Pete Thamel. He has sources saying that Noah Vedral will start for Rutgers at quarterback tonight against
that?
Nebraska. Evan Simon also expected to get snaps. Doubtful that we see Gavin Wimsatt as he is working his way back from a lower body injury. So for all you Nebraska fans out there, former quarterback Noah Vedral going to get the start for Rutgers tonight.
Also, breaking news, Trev Alberts is throwing the football on the sideline.
I saw
that. Trev Alberts is obviously in Piscataway. But anyway, no, I mean, like you said, Noah Vedral planning to get the start tonight, according to Pete Thamel, who's with ESPN now, I believe.
Yep.
So Pete Thamel says that Noah Vedral is getting the start. So that's a little bit. Evan Simon, obviously, who we talked about a little bit today, doesn't really throw the ball all that well. If Rutgers wants to win this game or even stay competitive, they're going to need to establish a running game, which puts the pressure on Nebraska's front seven, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those guys necessarily like an O'Shawn Mathis, we say it every single week, it'd be great to have a coming out party when Rutgers does drop back and pass, because Noah Vedral can run a little bit. However, he's got that bruised hand now. Well, it must be healthy enough to play, obviously, but here he is. He's not 100%. Evan Simon's a guy who has 4 touchdown passes on the year compared to 3 picks as well. So a guy that does turn over the football when they do throw the football. So it's one of those things where Nebraska, if they're able to get some penetration up front on the defensive side of the ball, they should be able to pick away and have some fun today up in Piscataway. Once again,
the defensive line getting a lot of push against Indiana, and hopefully the coming out of Garrett Nelson against Indiana. Maybe that forces the offensive line for Rutgers to look more on his side, and maybe that allows O'Shawn Mathis to get freed up and cause some havoc in the backfield.
Yeah, so once again, we got a text on the text line. You guys can chime in to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. We will be here until 6 o'clock, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Terrell Farley's in the house. You guys heard from Bach and Nate. Raph was on earlier. Nick Sainer, Enrique Alvarez, Clary hanging out with you. Jake Sorensen is somewhere around here trying some good stuff.
Wine.
But this segment has been sponsored by Bauer Underground. Bauer Underground is looking for great candidates like you. Work with a talented and dedicated team that supports local contractors and utility companies across Nebraska. Apply today at BauerUnderground.com. So once again, Rico, we gave our predictions earlier today. It's two Husker victories. Let's go ahead and give them one more time just in case people weren't listening. We'll probably be back on. I think we're going to hand off the headsets to the Black Shirt and Raph, because I know those two want to get up here.
Yep.
So we'll give them the next segment, then we'll probably be back here in the 5 o'clock hour.
More than likely.
But let's go ahead and give our score predictions for tonight's game before we hand it off to Terrell.
I'm telling you, I said earlier 3 touchdowns. Still sticking with that, but it's not like a crazy blowout there. It was 28-7.
All right, 28-7. I'm still sticking with 31-17. So once again, for Nick Sander, Enrique Alvarez, Clary hanging out with you guys. We're live at SIP, Nebraska here at Haymarket Park. Come on down. It's $45 at the door. They'll be here until 10 p.m., and you can come on down, watch the Husker game on the giant Jumbotron that they have here at Haymarket Park. We were shocked. They've already torn up the baseball field down here.
There's no grass.
There's no grass there. I mean, it's just all dirt, but it's not the dirt that we're used to seeing here at Haymarket Park. So it's kind of a different view. However, they have some music going on in the background, and the Ticket will be broadcasting live here until 6 p.m. So come on down to SIP, Nebraska. Some great places out here showcasing their best goodies, and you can try everything for a cheap price of $45. They got shirts for sale as well. And come say hello, come hang out with us, and let's all hope we can cheer on for a Husker victory tonight. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have another duo of 93.7 The Ticket hosts coming up on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, live from SIP, Nebraska at Haymarket Park on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Hey, who caught that ball? That field goal was good, right? Is the scoreboard fuzzy to anyone else?
Dude, you have got to get your eyes checked, man.
If you're noticing that the game is getting a little tougher to follow, it might be time for a checkup at Premier Vision. They have state-of-the-art equipment, a variety of frames, and great lens options. Visit Premier Vision today, just south of Van Dorn at 84th and Firethorn.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bakoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brent Excavate.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
M Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Did you know M Suits Clothiers has one of the largest selections of fashion-forward yet sophisticated menswear? Suits, jeans, dress pants, long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, and bamboo athletic wear. They are clean and simple styling with options to be worn for work or for play. Visit their store to find your perfect fit. M Suits Clothiers, located at 5525 Red Rock Lane, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. And tell your friends about them.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Bowling, check. Arcade, check. Laser tag, check. Mini golf, check. Sand volleyball, cornhole, bocce, food, drinks, check, 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 check. The newly renovated Sun Valley Lanes and Games has something fun to offer for guests of all ages.
Win prizes in the arcade or challenge your friends in one of the many attractions.
Plan a night of fun by reserving your spot online at sunvalleylanes.com.
Sun Valley.
Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina is the talk of the Haymarket, and for good reason. Grab a breakfast taco on a game day morning or stop by for lunch or dinner for their huge variety of street taco options. They have everything from carne asada or chorizo tacos to shrimp or fish tacos, buffalo chicken, and more. Plus, they have more than 140 different tequilas and tons of other beer or mixed drink options. There's truly something for everyone. Make plans to stop by for any meal of the day at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Back
Let's go 3-0 and let's come drink some Gatorade.
to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Ben Bleicher with PRG and BHHS Ambassador Real Estate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Follow me into the jungle.
All right, everybody, we're back again. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show live from SIP, Nebraska, down at Haymarket Park. I'm here with one of the all-time great linebackers in the history of Nebraska football. Definitely the greatest punt blocker in the history of Nebraska football. The black shirt, Terrell Arley.
What's up, Mr. Ralph?
What is up, brother?
Oh, man, just a great Friday, great afternoon, great day down here at SIP, Nebraska. We got a kickoff probably like an hour and 5 minutes away. just some key points to the game. Just play a great defense, I think, and special teams. I heard Noah Vedra started, so I guess we're gonna play it by ear with him. I don't know if they have much game film on him, but you can go back from the last 2 or 3 years and watch his play. But I still think Nebraska has a great chance of winning this thing.
So last week, going back there, what were like some of the differences you saw in the linebacker play last week that we were much more productive, I thought, from the linebackers last week?
I think first of all we got set and got out the huddle real fast. That was one of the keys against Indiana because they come out of the huddle real fast. Obviously, we made a lot of big plays at linebacker, especially with the hit at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, and that took over momentum into the fourth quarter. And the linebackers are playing great. I think really making them tackle at practice is doing great wonders for them because you got to play live football. It's not touch and tag or little league football. So you got to really give some good hits to jaw them balls out like Reimer did. And the thing I say, just play with speed. If you mess up, play fast.
Play fast.
Yeah. So let's get great tackling and today is last week started something new. We won one game, so we're gonna go for 2. We win this game. We handle business. We do this. Despite their blackout, their 57,000, that's a spring game to us. So it shouldn't be a problem to us. So the thing I say is this: go down there, take care of business, and get out of there, wherever, Pascal, New Jersey. So it's a first road trip for us. So the guys got to be calm and they got to be ready, and they can't let the crowd get into the game. They can't feed off the crowd because this is their crowd. So it's going to be different.
And it plays into the special teams factor there too.
And they have and Rutgers got a great special teams. They blocked 3 punts this year. They're top 5 in the NCAA. So we got to watch out for that. We got to get the ball snapped and get the blocking well. And Trey Palmer, I'm ready for a punt return or a kick return, man. We missing that all year. With the fair catches and stuff. But maybe on the road they feel a lot more cocky or a lot more confidence, and maybe they could take one back.
Yep. And then I guess the question that I have for you, back to your playing days. I know you always enjoyed playing over across the street there at Memorial Stadium, but was there something maybe a little bit more special going on the road and playing at another team's house and taking it to them?
I mean, yeah. When we played, it was kind of different because we had a bullseye on us. Everybody wanted to knock us off every week, so the crowd played a big role. And I think crowds like Oklahoma and K-State and Colorado fans were more of the more vulgar kind of audience for us.
Definitely.
And, they would talk trash and Oklahoma, they had a lot of people, especially like Michigan State. We went down there, we shut their crowd up, and then, it's fun for us to turn around and poke at them a little bit, but not too much. So you don't want nothing thrown at you after the game. But, you go down there and you want to silence their crowd and shut them down and make them leave the gate early, like teams been doing us here at Memorial Stadium. So, we're going to try to do the reverse roll on them, and maybe we can get their crowd to dispense early.
Exactly. And then, being a great defender like you were, you looked at a lot of offenses in your time. What do you think the keys to Nebraska's offense are this game? What do you see them doing, or where will they be the most productive?
I think we do what we've been doing. I don't think we change it. I don't think we change one thing for any opponent. I think we play Nebraska football, which they had established a great run game. We got to get great blocks again. We got to mix some stuff up. We got to get some great blockers. We got to get them young guys back in there. And Casey got to, there's nothing bad about Casey play. He just probably need to get it off a little quicker, make a little quicker decision on running. So I think our offense is going to be great. I'm not even worried about that phase of the game. We just go out there and play our game and let's pound them at the end of it.
I like going back to when you were playing. I think a lot of people like when they're listening, just hearing, the eyes of what you see and stuff like that. When you were playing, what type of run games, were there any that gave you fits? Was it directly right at you, the zone game, the zone run? What was something that gave you fits? There wasn't much that gave you fits, but
for me, I think was I was a smaller linebacker, so I have to say with a too tight set, with 2 tight ends in the game, that's kind of a bunch up and make me play on the line with the tight end, and not saying that I'm scared to play against the tight end, but it puts us all in a short space, and and it really closes my advantage on an opponent because we're playing in such tight rounders. But I never had a problem with playing in that set, but it's just one of those sets that anybody don't like playing in. Like I'm more of like spread out, like do my drop zones or blitzing from the side. So really a too tight set.
Too tight set.
Yeah.
And then what I forgot my question there for you, but
Sip
okay,
Nebraska.
I know. Look, Sip Nebraska caught up with me already. Another question I got for you is when you watch the games now, I'm assuming, is there a certain thing that you look at? Do you watch the linebackers closer just because that's what you played? Or what do you concentrate most on when you watch games?
At first, I really kind of watch the linebackers. I watch their drops, their steps, their first movement, their first steps, or how they play run or how they play defense. So, I really get into that. But then overall, I get out that little zone and then I try to watch it as a fan. I mostly I'm watching it as being in a film room and wishing I could run it back and tell that player what he did wrong. But, this is live TV, so I'm more of like a fan now. I have to sit back and relax and don't let my blood pressure get up high because, I don't have any money for a TV. So, obviously, I'm not throwing anything. But, I like to watch. I like to watch. I'm more of an offensive guy now. I like to see the deep balls that I still want to see what Trey Palmer can do. Just everything, everything wise. I want to see his complete game. He showed me his offensive side. Now show me your return side. So I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for somebody to do something great as a returner.
Nice. All right, we'll throw out a station ID right now. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket, KNTK Firth, and we're back again with Terrell Farley. We better cover also our sponsor here for this segment. It's Ben Bleicher with PRG. BHS Ambassador Real Estate. Whether you're looking to buy a home, a property, or sell, call Ben and his team today at 402-419-6309. So if you're looking to sell or buy a house, Ben is your guy. 402-419-6309. All right, so we've got kind of to that point of the day right now. What is your score prediction for tonight's game?
Oh, well, I'm gonna take the Huskers 42-21.
42-21.
I think we can put some points on these guys. Like I said, their offense is not very. Nothing clicks on me about their offense on paper. On paper, they don't look great, but looks can be deceiving. I think we can run on their defense. I think we just play our game and do the things we need to do and play whipple ball and ride and still be on the Mickey train. You can play whipple ball and be on the Mickey train at the same time. So we got to get those two rolling, and we got to get Bill Bush defense out there going. I think, like they say, Noah Vedral started, so I don't know what are we going to look for different. I don't think it makes them better or get them some advantage, but we still have to go out. At the end of the day, everybody still has to go out there and play football.
Yep, and we know too the most physical team usually is the one that wins. So I know we talked about it in the very first segment that I was on about being the most physical team tonight. And I think that's what Nebraska, when they come out tonight, let them know we're not talking about being physical. We are physical. And I think coming off injury, you got to think Noah will probably be favoring that wrist a little bit. So, not saying going after the wrist, but make sure when he drops back to pass, get pressure on him, get hits on him, let him know that, that he's out there with defensive line and linebackers that are really coming at him hard.
Yeah, I think that, for us to know what's his weak spot, I think some players might, try to, bump him or try to, I'm not saying play dirty, but
no, not at all.
I would ring his bell the first couple of snaps of the game and let him know, like, hey, I'm willing to take a flag just to let you know that we're here. You get that established first in the point of the game, and then you just keep going after them. Like I say, play clean, play to the wall, play to the whistle, tackle great. Things like that need to happen. So when we go down there, we need to just get concentrated and play great black shirt defense and come home with the victory.
Exactly. Do you have any questions for me, Terrell, that you would like to ask me? I know through all these years, I know you've probably had several questions that you'd like to ask me.
I listen to your intro a lot when they call you a guru. You're a guru of Nebraska football.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I got one. I got a question for you.
All right. I'm ready.
If you can get this one, I'll say you was a guru.
All right.
Who was the defensive MVP of the game in the 1995 Fiesta Bowl, 1996 Fiesta Bowl.
Well, that man was a first-round pick by the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go with Michael Booker.
Oh.
But it should have been you because that was a safety.
Yeah, I think I got cheated out of it. But, you know, me and Booker, you know, we're great teammates. We're not selfish or you know, players like that. I like to see my other teammates have fun. I like to see them score. I like to see us as a team just win. So that's why I'm very excited for Mickey coming back here and helping these kids understand that, you know, I think now they're feeling what the Nebraska way was. I'm not going to say that they didn't, but, you know, it's a way that Nebraska does it. And I think Mickey's taking them to the right step towards it.
And then final question before we head to break. Was the Fiesta Bowl, was that your favorite game playing at Nebraska, or was there one that sticks out maybe a little bit more than that?
I could say the Fiesta Bowl, but I could say my first start against K-State when we played them here back in 95. So, you know, getting my first start, my black shirt week, that was the first week I got my black shirt. You know, I got it on a Monday. And so that game was kind of special. I ended up with 10 tackles and 2 sacks. So
that's what I'm talking about.
And I didn't drop an interception because I didn't have one thrown my way.
There you go.
But, you know, it's a whole bunch of games like Texas Tech game where I scored on the first play of the game. You know, plays like that, you know, really solidified, making me happy through the game, you know, just to see something laying on the ground like a piece of candy. So, you know, it's a lot of games we had, but only a few stick out.
And if Mickey, say, gives you a call and says, hey, Terrell, I'd like you to maybe come down here and show our punt blockers maybe a thing or two on blocking punts, you still have those options open to where you'll accept a call from Mickey?
Yeah, I talk to Mickey every day, so, you know, it's just the point of me going and laying out on the mat. You know, I tell him, if you want me to show him something, you have to lay out a mat for me, and I demonstrate it because, you know, I don't want turf burn and stuff like that hitting on my stomach. So,
all right, you heard it here first. Terrell will come down and help Mickey if need be. And what we'll do right now is we'll throw it to break. You're listening to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Bowling, check. Arcade, check. Laser tag, check. Mini golf, check. Sand volleyball, cornhole, bocce, food, drinks, check. The newly renovated Sun Valley Lanes and Games has something fun to offer for guests of all ages.
Win prizes in the arcade or challenge your friends in one of the many attractions.
Plan a night of fun by reserving your spot online at sunvalleylanes.com.
Sun Valley.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina is the talk of the Haymarket, and for good reason. Grab a breakfast taco on a game day morning or stop by for lunch or dinner for their huge variety of street taco options. They have everything from carne asada or chorizo tacos to shrimp or fish tacos, buffalo chicken, and more. Plus, they have more than 140 different tequilas and tons of other beer or mixed drink options. There's truly something for everyone. Make plans to stop by for any meal of the day at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Hey, who caught that ball? That field goal was good, right? Is the scoreboard fuzzy to anyone else?
Dude, you have got to get your eyes checked, man.
If you're noticing that the game is getting a little tougher to follow, it might be time for a checkup at Premier Vision. They have state-of-the-art equipment, a variety of frames, and great lens options. Visit Premier Vision today, just south of Van Dorn at 84th and Firethorn.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln. M. Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Guys, are you working from home these days and find yourself wearing the same sweatpants you've had since college? Visit M. Suits Clothiers and check out our bamboo athletic wear by Task. Task Active Wear is comfortable, moisture-wicking, breathable, four-way stretch with anti-odor. You'll want to live in it, and it's nice enough that you can wear it outside of the house, too. M. Suits Clothiers, located at 5525 Red Rock Lane, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road.
Back
1, 2, 3,
to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, brought to you by Ritchie Brothers on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, just under 50 minutes till kickoff in Piscataway. Jake Sorensen live here at Haymarket Park for SIP Nebraska. Beautiful night here in Lincoln. Lots of people flowing in for a wonderful event. SIP Nebraska, Haymarket Park. Stop on by. Get your tickets at sipnebraska.com or purchase them at the door. Beer and wine and spirits from all across the state. It's beautiful here. But guess what? It is also apparently a beautiful night on the East Coast in Piscataway. And our man, our guy, DP, is on the scene in Piscataway. DP, I'm seeing pictures. I'm seeing videos with you and Mickey Joseph. You are living your best life, aren't you, in Piscataway?
Oh, sometimes you got to just show up and let it happen for you. Mickey's in a good mood, got a little pep in his step, and as they say, big Mick energy.
Yeah.
And of course, you're getting the input to the field for the rest of the Scarlet Knights. Of course, it's Black Friday here. They're black from head to toe. Huskers are in their white and red with the 2 stripes down the side, so that traditional look is back for Black Friday here in Piscataway.
DP, I'm seeing a couple reports before the game that are very interesting. Number one for Nebraska, it sounds like Tommy Hill, who's been playing cornerback, is working out with the receivers. What's up with that?
Well, I'm looking down. Of course, the skill position groups come out, get their work in. Yeah, it seems to be the thing that if you want to get used, go to where the work is. And they're down here now, and he's out here working with the receivers and the returners. So
interesting.
hey, maybe there's a change in store. I have a feeling there will be several surprises tonight in the personnel that shows up for the Huskers.
Well, speaking of maybe surprises, a guy that was supposed to start before the season, there were some injuries, but indeed Noah Vedral is going to get the start for Rutgers tonight against his former team, Nebraska, a place he's from in Nebraska. DP, do you expect to see a pretty motivated Vedral tonight despite maybe being banged up?
Well, he's banged up. The thumb hasn't healed 100%, but it is a big deal. He's out with the first group, but we expect him to be one of 2 or 3 Rutgers quarterbacks to play tonight. Well, they play a physical type. They want their quarterbacks to put the ground and run for them. And if you're playing at a slugfest, putting your quarterback at risk leaves them with injuries. That's how the 2 quarterbacks got injured in the first one.
Okay, well, I'm curious, DP, because I talked to Sip to start the pregame show off before maybe fans would get to the stadium. But I'm curious now, as we're about an hour and a half later than that. We know it's a blackout for Rutgers in Piscataway. How much Husker red are you seeing in the crowd so far?
Well, if you were to walk into the stadium now, you would see more Husker fans than Rutgers fans, just from the red. But the parking lot, the tailgates are full. They tailgate. Both of the tailgates are in one place, so it's pretty cool. It is a pretty cool thing. It's like this stadium. It holds 50 plus, but it's kind of in the middle of a neighborhood, and so you're getting like a real interesting tailgate vibe. The offensive linemen are taking the field for the Huskers, as you can hear behind me. Those are Husker fans cheering. So we're gonna accept that. Yeah, Jake, it's a weird vibe. I would expect 20% maybe of Husker fans.
Okay.
If I were to gauge based on what I saw walking in and what I can see from the field, yeah, I would expect about 20% as it evens out. The Rutgers fans are tailgating. The Husker fans are here for football.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's interesting. Everyone brings up Nebraska. Last time they're out in Rutgers, they beat them on a Friday night, 28-21. The people don't bring up that was the COVID year where there was no fans in the stands. It was just empty. I mean, it was basically a practice that counted. Nobody was there. Is there any way that the Rutgers home crowd can provide any intimidation tonight, DP, or not?
I don't think it's an intimidation thing. It's an energy thing, because whenever you get the student athletes, the student section to black out, then there's more energy in the space. Like, because they put more money, they put more energy in dressing up for the occasion and having stuff. The student section, I can see one student section, which is about a third full right now, but I mean, it's an hour before kickoff. So I would expect the student section to show up. It's the rest of the crowd that I'll be curious about. And it's got a little bit of a New York vibe with the fan base. So older folks who are showing up, they're enjoying themselves, but I expect Husker Nation to show up as well.
Now, let's go back to what you started with, DP. You said, we mentioned that Tommy Hill's working with the receivers, but you said don't be surprised if there's more surprises from Nebraska. Do you have any sort of hint there at all, or what are we speaking about?
Well, what looks good, the tight end group looks strong. You've got 5 that you're going to go with, right? All of them will play. The question is whether Chancellor Brody to give it a shout out. Whether who's going to play in what situation. I think that's a big thing. Defensive back and the linebackers, the groups that are playing, Heinrich and company, look active. Palarvik looks like he's prepared to do some work tonight. And then Hausman is back working with the regular group. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I have a feeling there'll be some different personnel groups tonight.
You got some loud audio going out there. It sounds like it's a party in Piscataway. I hope that you are. Give us a scoop, DP. Are you at the press box tonight? Where are you sitting now? Where are you partaking?
I'm going to be in the press box. They put the Husker press in the first row.
Okay.
It's the second level. It's a nice view. I think I'm at the 30-yard line up there. They'll take care of it. Simple here, the usual suspects, Washington, Callahan and company, those folks are here. But yeah, it should be a good one. The Huskers look like they have purpose. That makes sense. That if they go through the drills, it seems like they have purpose.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, we've talked about this team in the past has had some wins under Scott Frost, and they have just kind of come out either flat or not totally motivated and couldn't follow up back-to-back wins. And I think that's, the key tonight is if Nebraska can win, hey, that's 2 straight. And why can't you go then to Purdue next week and win a football game? That's what happens when you go on the road. If you can win a game following a win in your home field, why can't Nebraska get on a heater? I mean, would you be surprised, DP, if they lost tonight? I mean, what's your expectation for the game?
The gut feeling in games like this on a Friday night on the road is that that's worth the field goal to Rutgers. The question is whether Nebraska ignores the hype and handles the business.
Right.
It's going to be a brawl. Will Nebraska be patient enough? Rutgers wants it to be 11-on-7. They want it to be a brawl. Nebraska has better athletes, especially at the skill position. Slight advantage to Rutgers up front. And then it becomes a matter of coaching and adjustments. But being that they don't have much tape on Mickey Josephs and Mark Whipple in this space, slight advantage to the Huskers as they do their work here.
Last thing, DP, will let you bounce after this. Nebraska's defense showed up in the fourth quarter, or actually the second half. No points allowed last week against Indiana in a 35-21 win. Rutgers' offense has not been great the last couple of games, really the whole season. Are you expecting the defense to show up again tonight and deliver a good performance?
Yeah, I expect both defenses to have some advantage. Look, Rutgers wants to run the ball short passes in space under control. It's the opposite of Indiana. Indiana had the better offense. Then the question is Nebraska going to tackle? Are they going to make plays in space? And then can they do their thing when they get a turnover? Can they take advantage of it? I expect a physical play and put a ball on the turf or two. Can the Huskers recover it and then get to work on offense? Keep possessions will matter.
DP, enjoy the game. Bring back a win. Enjoy your time, and on Sunday at the NFL game also. And we will see you next week at some point.
Yeah, you'll see me on Tuesday. I'm going to go watch Bryce McGowan and the Hornets on Monday night, and then I'll be back Tuesday afternoon to come there.
All right, safe travels. Bring back a win and enjoy the game, DP.
Yes, sir.
All right, there he is, DP out on the scene in Piscataway. Huskers, Rutgers just under 40 minutes away from kickoff. Nebraska, again, right now, still a 3-point favorite in this game. The Huskers, of course, coming off of a 35-21 win against Indiana. Rutgers coming off of a 49-10 loss to Ohio State. And before that, a 27-14 loss to Iowa, which Iowa actually had 2 defensive scores in that ball game to help them pull away to victory. But it's going to be an interesting game. From everyone I've talked to, besides, I heard Terrell Farley, recently just picked Nebraska to win 42-21. He's about the only person I've talked to that is expecting a blowout for Nebraska. I don't hear anybody predicting a Rutgers blowout or a Nebraska blowout besides maybe Terrell. I mean, it's mostly a close game they're expecting here. So I'll give you my pick as we get on with the pregame show here and keep going. But I think it'll be a close game, and I think Nebraska fans should be ecstatic if you first of all win the game. Number 2, if you can find a way to take care of business and handle Rutgers by 7 to 14 points or more, then yeah. I mean, I asked the question earlier. Is there danger of consuming too much Kool-Aid again? We drank a lot of Kool-Aid before the season, got humbled with the 1-3 start. Had a nice win against Indiana. We got to be careful as a fan base to not over-chug the Kool-Aid and just accept it as it is. But I tell you what, if you win back-to-back football games, including one on the road and a blackout game in Piscataway, you should celebrate. You should have a good time. Yeah, and you can watch the games tomorrow knowing, hey, we're on top of the division until a game is played. I mean, Nebraska has the opportunity right now, and I think that's really big for their mentality and to know that, hey, if we win tonight, we're on top of the Big Ten West. Yeah, for one day only. But it's better than we have been for a couple years. For a team that hasn't made a bowl game since 2016, to even have that one moment when you blew that chance earlier this year in week 0 by losing to Northwestern in Ireland, you can redeem yourself and get that back with wins against Indiana and Rutgers and see where the season takes you. So, we can't let one game ruin the season, and Nebraska is trying to do so with that, with overcoming the 1-3 start. But it's going to be fun to see how this game plays out. I expect a defensive battle for Nebraska. I think that both teams will play okay. But we will see again. Big key tonight is going to be turnover battle. Who wins it? Can Nebraska not lose that? I mean, that's been a problem for them in games past, in years past. But that can't be the case tonight. So we'll take a quick time out. This segment was brought to you by Ritchie Brothers. Buy or sell your equipment today at rbauction.com. Once again, we are live at SIP, Nebraska, at Haymarket Park. It is alive and well. Lots of people here. There's still room for more. They're going to show the game on the TV, so if you want a place to come watch on this beautiful evening, it's a gorgeous fall evening outside here. It sounds like it's great in Piscataway, but it's also beautiful in Lincoln, Nebraska. Come on by, SIP Nebraska, great event. It goes till 10 p.m. Unlimited tastings from Nebraska wines, hard ciders, craft beers, and spirits. Again, showing the game on the jumbo screen, the 34-foot jumbo screen. There's lawn games, there's live bands, there's live comedy, there's food trucks, there's goat yoga. There's a free mobile massage place here. And there's raffle prizes as well. $45 if you buy online at sipnebraska.com or $55 at the door. But again, today, 4 to 10, tomorrow, 1 to 10. Stop on by. Awesome event. We will have more next from Haymarket Park on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bakoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and Brent Excavating.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete.
Bowling, check. Arcade, check. Laser tag, check. Mini golf, check. Sand volleyball, cornhole, bocce, food, drinks, check, 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 check. The newly renovated Sun Valley Lanes and Games has something fun to offer for guests of all ages.
Win prizes in the arcade or challenge your friends in one of the many attractions.
Plan a night of fun by reserving your spot online at sunvalleylanes.com.
Sun Valley.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Reward yourself with Kasasa Free Checking. Liberty First Credit Union invites you to open a free Kasasa checking account and earn up to 3% APY for up to $30,000. Get paid for banking. What are you waiting for? Earning a high reward rate is easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. Liberty First Credit Union offers free online banking and bill pay, free e-statements, free mobile banking, and so much more. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
From selling a home to even building one, you're doing a lot and need a lender who can help you do it. Like Elizabeth Rizak of Security First Bank.
With over 25 years of experience as a mortgage loan officer, I take pride in helping borrowers find the right loan for their next home.
Mortgage lending from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 505011 and 483558.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Mostly cloudy and cool for our Friday. We only top out at around 57 this afternoon. North winds at around 10. With clearing skies tonight, a freeze warning in effect. We'll see lows tonight dropping down to around 30, but a nice bounce back tomorrow with sunny skies and a high of 67. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
M Suits Clothiers, your Lincoln choice for men's clothing 5 years running. Everyone should own a suit, at least one. M Suits has the largest selection of suits, sports coats, pants, and dress shoes. Plus, their in-house tailoring will have your suit ready when you need it. The next business trip or a new job interview, M-Suits will have you looking and feeling your best in a new suit. So if you don't own a well-fitting suit, go see them at M-Suits Clothiers, 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina is the talk of the Haymarket, and for good reason. Grab a breakfast taco on a game day morning or stop by for lunch or dinner for their huge variety of street taco options. They have everything from carne asada or chorizo tacos to shrimp or fish tacos, buffalo chicken, and more. Plus, they have more than 140 different tequilas and tons of other beer or mixed drink options. There's truly something for everyone. Make plans to stop by for any meal of the day at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Back
We hit them in the mouth. We show them the best team in the world.
to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're live at SIP, Nebraska, Haymarket Park for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. 30 minutes till kickoff. This segment brought to you by Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina. Great tacos, great drinks, and lots of tequila. Located at 8th and Q. Again, we are in Lincoln. For Sean's in Omaha. The game's in Piscataway. I'm joined on the stream by the captain. You can hear him every weekday on the Ticket from 10 to noon. Captain, can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Is this thing on? Can you sure you can hear
this thing on? I hear you. I can hear you. I can see you.
See the guys I got behind me?
Yeah, you got a crowd. You got a crowd. What's up, fellas?
Man, them the starters, man.
on?
Those
Where
are some
you
starters
at?
back there.
Where are you at for Sean, Captain?
I can't. I'm in the red room. You never see me in the
We're
red
in the
room.
red room. I have seen you in the red room when I've watched the broadcast, when I have not been on the radio with you. But there's Bach looking over the video screen. Weirdo.
We're red rooming it
All
up.
right. Red rooming it up. He is Rashawn Jackson. I'm Jake Sorensen. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, a half hour away from kickoff. Nebraska Rutgers in Piscataway. We have heard from SIP in Piscataway. We've heard from DP in Piscataway. Here's some news for you, Rashawn. I don't know if you've been following, but I'm seeing some reports. Couple things. Number one, Tommy Hill, who's been a starting defensive back before last game, was warming up with the wide receivers today.
Ooh.
Thoughts on that?
I mean, listen, Tommy Hill's an athlete. He's a guy that can get things done. He can kill you on both sides of the ball. I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's bad. I mean, he's a kickoff return guy, so he should be able to get it done, don't you think?
I think so. I hadn't heard him in that discussion of being a receiver. You know, he comes in from Arizona State as a like you said, a return guy, but a defensive back, a guy who started the first 4 games as a defensive back, and all of a sudden, Malcolm Hartzog, the true freshman, starts last game, and now apparently, I'm not sure he's going to play as a receiver, but he was warming up with Nebraska's wide receivers today. So very interesting storyline there. Also for Sean, regarding Rutgers, it looks like we have their starting quarterback. It's a guy that Nebraska knows pretty well. Noah Vedral from Wahoo, Nebraska, former Husker himself, is going to be tonight's starter for Rutgers, going against his former team. How about that?
Well, they got to strike a match somehow, some way. Now, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to do with his arm. That's the biggest thing with him. Listen, I love Vedral. I think Noah Vedral still should have been at Nebraska, and he probably would have been our starting quarterback. Here's my deal. we still got to hit them. We still got to beat you, Vedral. We're still not going to give you no lightweight because your last name is Vedral. We got to hit him in the mouth and hit him early and hit him often and make him think about why he's at Rutgers and we're at Nebraska.
Well, I like to hear that, Vershawn. Yeah, I'm with you here. Now, Terrell Farley with Chris Raff earlier in this hour predicted a Nebraska 42-21 victory. I was saying on the air last segment, I haven't heard anybody predict Nebraska to win a blowout. Nebraska's a 3-point favorite according to Vegas. Nebraska, was tied with Indiana going to the fourth quarter before they won 35-21. And frankly, there's still a team that's learning how to win and win consistently and win back-to-back games. I mean, Vershawn, let me ask you, in tonight's game, what kind of game are you expecting? Are you expecting a close game like Vegas believes, or do you believe Nebraska can come away with a nice, comfortable win?
I think Nebraska can come away with a comfortable win. I don't give my predictions anymore. So just so you know, Jake, all out right now, because I drank so much Kool-Aid in the summertime that my stomach is bubbling every time I think about Kool-Aid. So right now, I just want us to go out and leave it on the football field, lay it all out on the line, tackle, block, punt, tackle, punt. I want us to just go play sound football, no penalties or very minimum penalties, and I want us to rush the ball. I think if you can put a rushing game together where you put 52 rushes and down throw somebody's throat, you 9 times out of 10 you'll win.
Yeah, you're right. And Nebraska, again, look at last game. I mean, Anthony Grant, we've been waiting for a game where he gets a bunch of carries. He's been so explosive, but he had 32 carries. And we haven't seen a running back get that kind of number since, I believe, Divine Ozigbo, maybe one time with Dedrick Mills, but not consistently do you see one guy get that many carries. I mean, let me ask you, Rashawn, I mean, you played on teams where you had multiple good running backs, and they would let one guy get hot. But for Nebraska, I mean, can you expect that again? Can you continue to give Anthony Grant the ball 30-plus times in a game? Is that sustainable?
You gave it to him 32 times. So the fact that and it didn't seem like he ran the ball 32 times.
I'm with you.
The fact that he can go 32 times and run it 32 times against Indiana, he can run it 32 times against anybody. You don't want to get him beat up because the season is so long, and you have Gabe Ervin, and you have Jacquez Yant. You got to use what you got. Okay, when you got a big body like Jacquez Yant, send them. Let them beat up that offensive or defensive line. Let them beat up that secondary. And then I'm telling you, the more you beat up on them, the easier the game gets.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, listen, the last time Nebraska played Rutgers, they played some bully ball. It was a good thing to see in 2020. Again, no fans in the stands for that COVID game. But Nebraska, used the running game in the second half with Dedrick Mills, Adrian Martinez. And they won 28-21 in front of no fans because it was empty with COVID. But you saw the bully ball. You saw them enforce their will against a team that was struggling and getting tired. And, I mean, if they can do that again tonight and open up the big pass play to Trey Palmer or anybody downfield, I mean, that's a heck of a recipe for success for Sean.
Well, listen, anytime again, the pass ball in our pass game is going to be predicated off of what we do in the run game. So to get guys running wide open like Trey Palmer running down the field, Garcia running down the field, you've got to have a pretty decent run game and be committed to the run game to open up those lanes. I want to see Vokalek get more involved. I think we got to start targeting the big fella at least 6 to 10 times a game in order to really be successful and to really keep drives going. You know what I mean? We did a good job last week. We got to do a better job this week, but you got to get the big fella involved. Let's not run him on post and corners and take off routes. Let's give him something where he can run a 5-yard in or a 7-yard out or a button hook, a 7-yard button hook. Have him be the hot guy. He has to have a big game today. And don't forget, where'd he come from?
Rutgers. It's his former team. Yeah, show him what's up. I mean, for Sean, I said before the season, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I've been saying this for years. Nebraska's got to utilize the tight end in the passing game. And look at the first game. I mean, they lost to Northwestern, but when Travis got hurt, I mean, that game changed. They were finding him down this, in the seam. He was getting open for first down conversions on third down. Like when he got hurt, that changed a lot of things. And so now that he's back healthy, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. You have to utilize that guy on third downs, especially if it's 3rd and 7, find the tight end. He's good. He's healthy now. There's no reason to not get him involved in the passing game. No reason at all.
100%. You got to get him involved. And like I said, I think pushing the middle of the field, he needs to be the threat in the middle of the field because they're going to blitz. Let me tell you, they blitz Ohio State from so many different directions, and that running back made them pay. They blitz into a call. They blitzed right into it and still didn't make the play on that running back. So that encourages me to know that these guys aren't very good tacklers. They're not very good sound when it comes sound as far as disciplined football. They'll give up big plays. They'll give up big plays in the pass game and the run game. And we got to take advantage of everything that they give us.
I'm with you. He is the captain. I'm Jake Sorensen. About 20 minutes from kickoff in Piscataway. Rashawn's in Omaha. I'm in Lincoln. The game's in Piscataway. We're all over the place, but we're still bringing pregame coverage to you because that's what we do on the ticket. A couple more minutes here for Sean. So let's look at the defense for Nebraska. I mean, we can all agree. I mean, the first 4 games for Nebraska were just a complete disaster. Bad against Northwestern, bad against North Dakota, bad against Georgia Southern, bad against Oklahoma. Good against Indiana. No points allowed in the second half against Indiana in a 35-21 victory. Now, Bill Bush took over for the defense last week or 2 weeks ago in the Oklahoma loss too, but he had a chance after the bye week to get things right, which they did. Rutgers' offense has not been very explosive this year. With that being said, Nebraska's defense had their first good performance of the season last week. Can they back it up in back-to-back weeks for Sean?
I think so. I think the longer the season goes, the better the defense will get because they'll remember muscle memory. You know about that, Jake. Muscle memory. The more that they start tackling, the more that they take the right angles, the more that they fly around to the ball, the better they'll become at it. And they are getting better and better and better. I think right now, we'll see a better defense than we've seen against Indiana. I promise you that. Because the coaches are calling them higher. The coaches are making them do, when we say run it again, they're making them run the plays over that they're messing up, and they're getting reps. So I look for us to tackle better. I look for us to fly around. I look for us to be physical.
Yeah, I'm with you. And think about that for Sean. Think what that does. You talk about, football is a game of confidence. If you could be a really talented team, but if you just don't have the confidence or believe in your coaches or yourself, it doesn't matter. You're not going to show up and you're not going to win. If Nebraska can get back-to-back wins, and one of those being a night game tonight on the road in a blackout environment in Rutgers in Piscataway, then you feel pretty good about your chances of showing up against Purdue. And that's a team you got to play good defense again with Aiden O'Connell. So, I mean, tonight is very, very important to continue to get the trust of the players and their coaches to put them in the right spots, and also the trust in themselves to make the plays when they need to.
Absolutely. I mean, when you go out and you start making plays, I mean, think about how good it felt. I mean, if you would have told me that we would have that many 3-and-outs, it didn't feel like it. It did not feel like it. It just felt like just positive, great energy. And I'm telling you, the more that they feel those 3-and-outs, the more that they feel like they get into the quarterback, knocking Simon down or whatever the heck, number 3 down, knocking him down, the more that they're going to gain their confidence. And before you know it, we might look like the Nebraska of old. Not way old, but at least Bo Pelini old.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's again, confidence is key, and Nebraska can build some of that tonight against Rutgers. And I think too, Rashawn, this might sound, again, you can make fun of me if you want, but I'm thinking when you're a team that has not made a bowl game since 2016, these guys, I mean, some of these guys came in and, Stephon Wynn experienced success at Alabama, but there's a lot of these guys, even Casey Thompson at Texas, that have not experienced a successful football season. There's something I believe that they could have had with the win against Northwestern and seeing themselves 1-0. They didn't get there. But if they win tonight, they are by themselves for at least one day on top of the Big Ten West. And maybe that gives them the belief that, hey, we can do this. We can do this. Right? Am I going too far with that?
20, yeah, you're going too far. 24 hours, you're number one, and then that's it. Yeah. And then after 24 hours, you'll be tied
for number one. Now, I think
I
we got
thought
to
you
take
might
it.
laugh. I was just trying to give it a little example here for Sean. I mean, I know you won a lot of football games. You didn't have to worry about, finding something to believe in because you won 3 championships in 4 years. What a luxury you had. You run a good team.
I know, but I'm just simply saying that, the energy to what Mickey brings to Bill Bush, to those coaches, they bring is what we need and what those players need to feel confident that the guy that's leading them, he loves them. He's going to build confidence in them. He trusts them. And when they mess up, he don't bite their head off. He talks to them and he coaches them up, coach, because that's what we got to do. You can't take your quarterback, Casey Thompson, who's fragile anyway because he's getting hit all over the place. And then you start getting into his mind because he might not be playing well. Well, listen, at the end of the day, Nebraska football goes if Casey Thompson goes.
Right?
If Casey Thompson has a good game, 9.5 times out of 10, we're going to win the game. If he doesn't,
but I'd pause you right there. I'd pause you there, Vershawn, because I don't know if that's healthy for Nebraska. Casey Thompson's your quarterback, but also he's been banged up. This offensive line has not protected him at all times. He got banged up last game. They put Chubb in for a series because they got upset with Casey, and that didn't turn out well. But I don't know if I like the concept of we go as Casey goes. That was the thing with Adrian too. It's like the team goes as Adrian goes, and that they went 3-9.
Whoa, Jake. Let me go back. Okay, let me just break this down for you a little bit. When I say we go as Casey goes, that means he's a game manager. Okay, we're not asking Casey to do what we asked Adrian Martinez to do. We asked Casey to make plays with his arm, to make the right decision, to put us in the right play, to audible when we need to, and to run the doggone play that it's called. That's it. Play within the constraints of the game. Don't get too cute. Don't try to throw in the triple coverage. Don't try to do some things that you're not capable of doing, and you're forcing it. So I'm more looking at Casey like, one, he's a leader to me. He's your quarterback. And then two, for him to take the hits that he took last week and he got back up and won that doggone game, and he looked better in the fourth quarter than he did in any previous quarters or than we have, I'll take Casey for 10, Bob.
Well, I like that from you, for Sean. That's good to take him for 10. All right, we'll get one final break for Sean. I'll let you go, man. I'll let you get ready for the game, gear up. Thank you for your time today, and we will see you back on Monday.
Hey, man, appreciate it, man. Hey, and always remember, go Big Red.
Go Big Red. There he goes.
That's right.
The captain is out. We have got one last segment. We're at SIP Nebraska, Haymarket Park, for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. One last segment next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and Brent Excavate.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln, and has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Mostly cloudy and cool for our Friday. We only top out at around 57 this afternoon. North winds at around 10. With clearing skies tonight, a freeze warning in effect. We'll see lows tonight dropping down to around 30, but a nice bounce back tomorrow with sunny skies and a high of 67. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Reward yourself with Kasasa Free Checking. Liberty First Credit Union invites you to open a free Kasasa checking account and earn up to 3% APY for up to $30,000. Get paid for banking. What are you waiting for? Earning a high reward rate is easy, and Kasasa checking is always free. Liberty First Credit Union offers free online banking and bill pay, free e-statements, free mobile banking, and so much more. See libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
All right, about 9 minutes to kickoff in Piscataway. Final segment here of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Usually, we do our pregame shows at for home games at Tipsy Tina's. We'll be there for the next home game, the end of the month for Illinois. If we have road games, we're typically at the station, but this is too good of an event to not be at. It's a beautiful day, beautiful fall day, Haymarket Park. SIP Nebraska, again, goes 4 to 10 p.m. tonight, 1 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. Buy your tickets at sipnebraska.com, or you can buy them at the door as well. But it's just a great time. All sorts of different breweries, wineries, distilleries to choose from. Wonderful, wonderful place. And you can watch the game. They're going to have the game on the big Jumbotron here, so stop on by. Great place to watch Nebraska Rutgers in about 8 minutes from right now. This segment, by the way, brought to you by A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, our proud sponsor of our pregame show. Quick reminder, we will have a high school game actually going on tonight. So 7 o'clock, Carter Longy on the call for that. He will be out at Seacrest Field, so tune in for that. If you want to have something in the background and watch the Husker game on mute, it's up to you. Love to have you listen to us. And also following that, we will have our post-game show. Nick Sainert, Jake Bachhoven will be at the studio wrapping up the game, win or lose for Nebraska. So stay with us all night long on 93.7 The Ticket. Should be a fun night of action. Hopefully it's a victorious Nebraska win in doing so. I just saw a couple things on Twitter that are interesting. Some celebrities out in Piscataway. How about Kelsey Grammer? You said, who's Kelsey Grammer? He's Frazier. He's Frazier for back in the day. So Frazier's in the building in Piscataway, watching, taking a little Rutgers, Nebraska tonight in Piscataway. We mentioned earlier on the broadcast that Tommy Hill, who had been a starting defensive back for Nebraska through 4 games, is no longer a starter. And by the way, he was warming up with the wide receivers tonight. So we will see if he gets action there. He was not listed as a starter on the what I saw on Twitter in terms of the starters for Nebraska. If you are looking at who is starting for tonight for Nebraska on offense, of course, Casey Thompson, Anthony Grant at running back, wide receivers, Trey Palmer, Marcus Washington, Alante Brown, and Travis Vokalek. And on the offensive line, Turner Corcoran returns from his ejection the last game to start left tackle. Ethan Piper, left guard. Trent Hickson at center. Brock Bando, right guard. And still Bryce Benhart, despite a good performance from Hunter Anthony. Benhart gets to start at right tackle. I would expect to see a rotation there with Hunter Anthony and Bryce Benhart. Defensively, starters, this is again from Nebraska's own Twitter account. On the line, Garrett Nelson as an edge rusher, as well as O'Shawn Mathis or Caleb Tanner. They have an or attached to their name. Ty Robinson, who played well last game, and Colton Feast. At linebacker, Luke Reimer, Nick Henrich, and Isaac Gifford at nickel. And in the secondary, at your cornerback spots, Malcolm Hartzog, again, his second straight start as a true freshman, with also Quentin Newsom. And at safety, Marcus Buford Jr. and Miles Farmer are your starters tonight for Nebraska per the Husker Twitter account. Huskers, again, right now, 3-point favorites against the Scarlet Knights as kickoff is in about 6 minutes from right now. The nation should be watching. You know, it's a game that's nationally televised. No other games really going on tonight. I tell you what, I guess I speak on behalf of football fans. I just hope it's not a game like last night in the NFL. That Broncos-Colts game was just ugly. It was terrible. No touchdowns, 7 field goals, and a 12-9 overtime win for the Colts. As long as the game's not like that, I don't think anybody cares in Nebraska who wins them. They want to win the game, of course, but please, nothing like that travesty of a football game would be wonderful. So, again, about 5 minutes away from kickoff, we are live at SIP, Nebraska. If you want to come out here this weekend, let me give you a quick plug here. I mentioned we're going until 10 o'clock today. This is the 9th annual SIP, Nebraska event. It's inside Haymarket Park. We are right here in the front of Haymarket Park. A lot of people coming in. Good crowd out here tonight watching the game. 34-foot jumbo screen will show this game shortly. There's unlimited tastings from Nebraska wines, hard ciders, craft beers, and spirits. Lawn games, live bands, live comedy, food trucks, artisan vendors, cookie decorating, wine glass painting. A free mobile massage is available here. Goat yoga, a sip and learn class, and a best of tasting contest. Plus, there's raffle prizes. Again, $45 on at sipnebraska.com or $55 at the door. You can come tonight. You can come tomorrow. 1 to 10 on Saturday, 4 to 10 this evening. Wonderful event. Should be good weather on both days. So come and come by and see us and enjoy the event. Last thing before we get out of here and pass you off to quickly for national programming, and then we'll get to the high school game at 7 o'clock. I'm going to give my official prediction. Nebraska, I believe, does cover and win tonight. 27-20 is the score that I see the Huskers winning by. I feel like, there's a lot of optimism from the fan base. And why can't you go win 2 straight games? It's not that hard. Rutgers is beatable. Are they a team that's going to give you a challenge? Absolutely. They should. You should want a challenge. Noah Vendrell gets to start. The Wahoo native, the former Husker, will start for the Scarlet Knights tonight. Hopefully for him, it's a loss, but hope he plays well and stays healthy. But again, that'll do it for us from SIP, Nebraska for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Again, we got high school football at 7. The postgame show around 9:30 here on the Ticket. For all of the gang from the Ticket, thank you for tuning in. Go Big Red, and we will talk to you in postgame and see you also on Monday. Good night.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers